In today's story, we step into the world of a Russian film, a deeply moving tale of a mother. This is the journey of a woman who, from the moment her child is born, fights relentlessly to keep him alive. She endures countless hardships, crossing one storm after another. Throughout this time, a remarkable doctor stands by her side, offering unwavering support. Yet in the end, it is her own child who becomes the reason she survives. To truly understand how, one must witness the entire story. But here's what can be said. By the time the final scene arrives, tears will fill your eyes. Those tears will carry both the weight of sorrow and the quiet warmth of joy. This is the story of Dr. Happiness. And without any further introduction, we step straight into the heart of the film. In a small Russian town, the sound of an ambulance siren cuts through the air as it speeds down the street. The vehicle stops in front of a maternity house, a place where new life enters the world every day. This is where our story unfolds. Inside, we meet a woman named Marina Golubieva, around 40 years old, crying out in the throes of intense labor pain. The doctors present try to comfort her, speaking gently as they begin the delivery process. They encourage her, offering both medical and emotional support. Marina pushes through with all her strength, the doctors working alongside her. Then, suddenly, the room falls silent. A beautiful baby boy enters the world. The doctors welcome Marina into motherhood, and a soft smile of relief spreads across her face. Everyone in the room feels joy. She looks toward the baby and whispers, "My son." But then, an uneasy quiet spreads among the doctors. They exchange hushed words. Marina doesn't yet understand. Her baby is not breathing, and he hasn't cried. When she hears this, her voice trembles as she asks why her child hasn't cried yet. The lead doctor urgently calls for more help. Tears stream down Marina's face as she pleads for her baby to be brought to her. The newborn is placed in her arms. Holding him close, she speaks softly, telling him he is her dream, the one she has waited so long to see. She calls him handsome, tells him she has imagined his face long before he came into this world. She promises that he is her life's greatest support, that they will walk hand in hand, share meals, and that she will watch him grow and go to school. Her voice shakes as she urges him to respond. The mother's tears flow freely, and even the doctors struggle to hide their own emotions. Yet Marina refuses to give up hope. She keeps speaking to her son, asking him to wake up and talk to her. And then, in a moment that feels like a miracle, the baby lets out his first cry. The doctors rush forward, lifting the child into their arms, relief flooding their faces. Marina exhales deeply, her heart finally at ease. The room, once heavy with fear, fills again with life and joy. The scene shifts, and we meet another key figure in this story, Dr. Ivanovich, one of the central characters in the film. At the maternity house, a new patient has just arrived. Her name is Yana Stavitskaya, a woman from a wealthy family, carrying herself with a noticeable air of arrogance. Dr. Ivanovich examines her, but quickly senses that something is not right. He immediately recommends an ultrasound. Yana, however, protests, saying her appointment date is still far away and questions why she should have the scan now. Without arguing, the doctor steps outside and speaks with a colleague. He shares that the patient's baby's heartbeat is alarmingly low. The colleague insists that surgery should be performed immediately, but Dr. Ivanovich explains that Yana is refusing. The colleague offers to handle Yana's case and asks Dr. Ivanovich to instead check on Marina's newborn, the baby admitted earlier that morning, who has been diagnosed with a serious congenital condition. Dr. Ivanovich agrees. This colleague's name is Katerina. In the next scene, Yana is taken into the operating theater, where Dr. Katerina prepares for her surgery. Meanwhile, Marina has been moved to the general ward, where several other new mothers are resting, all sharing in the joy of their newborns. They warmly congratulate Marina. Outside, a woman's husband waits eagerly to see their baby, but when he approaches, another woman draws the curtain and advises Marina not to allow any relatives during breastfeeding time. Marina quietly replies that no one will be coming to see her anyway. The The woman's smile fades. That night, Marina watches her baby from a distance. The infant is in an incubator because of the serious condition, something Marina still doesn't know about. A nurse reminds her repeatedly that it's late and visiting hours are over. Marina pleads to know why no one is telling her anything and asks what has happened to her son. The nurse gently explains that the doctor will speak to her in the morning. But mother's heart cannot rest. She doesn't want to leave her child. Just then, Dr. Katerina arrives, and the nurse explains the situation. Katerina comforts Marina, assuring her that discussions are ongoing and she will be informed of everything. She encourages Marina to rest and leads her away. Later that night, Dr. Ivanovich examines Marina's baby thoroughly, with Dr. Katerina standing beside him. After the checkup, he exhales heavily and says there is no other way. Without surgery, the baby cannot survive. Funds must be arranged quickly, and the child must be transferred to the capital for treatment by an experienced surgeon. Katerina reminds him that he has studied this very condition for his thesis. Ivanovich admits that while he is academically knowledgeable, they need someone with hands-on surgical experience. He refuses to take such a risk with a newborn's life. Back in their office, Katerina tries to convince him that he is capable, but he remains firm. A nurse enters, informing him that his mother has been calling repeatedly. He asks if she was told he is busy in the operating theater. We then see his mother, still trying to reach him. Back in the hospital, Katerina teases, asking if his mother is still obsessed with arranging his marriage. Ivanovich replies that she has moved beyond obsession. She has already chosen a bride for him, a former school colleague named Nina. His mother wants him to marry her. We see his mother and Nina waiting for him late into the night. As midnight approaches, his mother offers Nina another cup of tea, but Nina politely declines, saying she will come back tomorrow. His mother apologizes, explaining that her son is always serious about his work. Nina, a little shy, prepares to leave, and his mother calls out, asking her to phone once she reaches home. Meanwhile, late at night, a woman informs Dr. Ivanovich that Marina has been crying uncontrollably and cannot be calmed. He goes to the general ward, where Marina is still weeping for her child. He tries to comfort her and eventually gives her a sedative to help her rest. At the reception, a man arrives, introducing himself as Yana's husband. He explains that he has driven a long way and only wants to see her once. The nurse refuses, saying it is impossible at this hour. The man pleads, even offering her money as a bribe. After a moment's hesitation, the nurse agrees, but only for 1 minute. The scene returns to the general ward. Dr. Ivanovich gently explains to Marina that her baby's condition is not anyone's fault, not hers, not anyone else's, and that the cause is unknown. He promises her that they will all fight together for the child's life. The baby urgently needs surgery, and she must also help them in this fight. Marina asks what she needs to do, assuring him she is ready to do anything for her child. The doctor explains that a large amount of money will be needed to bring in a skilled surgeon from the capital. Hearing this, Marina's face falls. When he asks about her family, she quietly says her parents are no longer alive. The doctor then suggests seeking help from the baby's father, but her expression darkens further, and she begins to cry without saying another word. He does not press her. At that moment, the man enters, visibly excited. Dr. Ivanovich calms him, asking why he has come at this late hour. The man says he is here to see his wife, Yana. The doctor informs him that he has a son, but the baby is in the emergency ward and will be brought to her in the morning. Overjoyed, the man cannot contain his happiness, but the doctor gently escorts him out. Even outside, he shouts in excitement. The next morning, Yana is moved to the general ward, but she is displeased, insisting she was promised a private room and offering to pay any amount. The nurse explains there are no rooms available, as she had already been told. Yana, arrogant as ever, treats the doctors rudely, though Dr. Katerina responds with a calm smile. Meanwhile, at reception, another man arrives asking to see his wife, Yana. The nurse is confused, saying her husband has already been here. The man's face stiffens, and he changes his words, claiming he just wants to see her briefly and asking for directions to Ward 7. Inside the general ward, Yana spots Marina and calls out to her. They know each other. In fact, they are half-sisters who have not spoken in years. Yana mocks her, saying it is fitting she is in the general ward, as that is what she deserves. Marina ignores the insult, saying only that it is good to see her after so long, and noting she has not changed, still sharp and beautiful. But Yana continues to insult her until Marina quietly leaves. Moments later, the man appears at the door, and Yana freezes. She rushes out to meet him and immediately scolds him for coming. He says he is here to see his son, but Yana reminds him they are divorced and questions how he dares to show his face. She mocks his income, saying he cannot even afford a toy for the child, and boasts that her current husband is wealthy. She tells him to leave them alone. Marina overhears from the other side of the wall, but pays little attention. Yana warns her ex-husband never to return. His face falls, and it becomes clear she left him for money. As he leaves, he hands her a bouquet of flowers. Yana, limping slightly, notices Marina nearby and quickly calls down to her, claiming the man is just a colleague from her office. Marina replies that she never asked. The scene shifts. Marina is outside the hospital, looking around. Dr. Ivanovich pulls up in his car, calling out to her and asking why she has left, reminding her it is against hospital rules. Marina explains she urgently needs to see her baby's father, who is not answering her calls. The doctor offers to drive her, and though she hesitates, she agrees. She asks why leaving is forbidden. He explains that some mothers abandon their babies, leaving the government to take full responsibility for their care, declaring them orphans, and even placing them for adoption. Marina, saddened, says she does not know what fate awaits her and may have to make such a choice. The doctor asks for the address, and she gives him the location of the head office of the city's largest bank. They arrive, and he tells her to go ahead while he waits. She insists she can go alone, but he reassures her he will be there. Marina waits at the bank's main entrance until a luxury car arrives. A man steps out, the bank's managing director. His name is Nikolai. She approaches him, explaining they have a son together, that she did not want to come to him, but the child is gravely ill and needs emergency surgery, which requires a large sum of money. She tells him the baby has a congenital heart defect and will not survive without the operation. She points out the doctor who has come with her. Nikolai grabs her by the arm and drags her toward the doctor, insisting he does not know her and has no connection to her. The doctor tries to calm him, suggesting that perhaps after pregnancy her emotions have been unstable. But Nikolai shouts that he does not know this woman and walks away. Marina stands frozen, eyes brimming with tears. The doctor understands everything without another word. He helps her into the car, and they drive back. Nikolai, it turns out, is not only the bank's managing director, but also the city's future mayor, with an election just ahead. A short while later, Nikolai's current wife arrives. She comes from a wealthy family, and the bank itself belongs to her family. She is also the bank's chairperson. Nikolai asks her what the doctor said. Tearfully, she explains that the doctor suspects she may have heart failure, which means they can no longer have children. More tests have been prescribed. Nikolai comforts her. Meanwhile, Marina finally opens up to Dr. Ivanovich about her past with Nikolai. They once worked at the same bank and secretly married, but Nikolai never gave her social recognition. He kept their relationship hidden. When Marina became pregnant, he refused to accept the child and pressured her repeatedly to have an abortion. She refused, left her job, and walked away from Nikolai, determined to raise her child alone. But now, fate has dealt her a cruel blow. The very child she fought to protect is slipping away from her. Outside the hospital, we see Dr. Ivanovich's mother with Nina, the woman she hopes he will marry. It is his day off, yet he has not returned home, and his mother is worried. Dr. Ivanovich explains that he had urgent work and apologizes for missing dinner the previous night, promising that tonight the three of them will dine together and that he will not be late. He introduces Marina as his patient and says they must head inside, assuring his mother they will meet later. Inside, Marina tells him she feels bad for ruining his day off, but he insists it is no trouble. Her eyes wander to another new mother, smiling with joy, a smile Marina cannot bring herself to share. In the evening, Dr. Katerina approaches Dr. Ivanovich, surprised to see him working on his day off. He explains he is reviewing Marina's baby's reports. Katerina warns that reports won't matter now. Marina has decided to declare her baby an orphan. She has already prepared the paperwork. Shocked, Dr. Ivanovich asks if she has lost her mind, doing this out of anger toward the baby's father. He tells Katerina that the father is Nikolai. She recognizes the name, the city's future mayor. Dr. Ivanovich remarks that the richer people become, the smaller their hearts can be, refusing even to acknowledge their own child. Meanwhile, Yana's current husband confronts her ex-husband, asking how long he has known her. He urges him to ask Yana about their past, revealing that they were married years ago. The current husband's eyes widen. Both men are drunk, and the ex-husband continues, claiming the baby the current husband believes is his is actually his own child. He shouts that Yana married for money. Enraged, the current husband starts a fight, and the club's guards break it up. Back at the hospital, Marina sits outside with tear-filled eyes, holding a document. Dr. Ivanovich joins her, asking if she understands what she is about to do, reminding her that there is still hope. She insists there is none. He warns that she will lose her child forever, but she says at least the baby will live, with the government providing treatment. He urges her to take back the papers before it is too late, explaining that once registered, nothing can be undone. In the meantime, Yana's husband arrives at the hospital, bloodied and drunk, demanding to see her. Nurses calm him and give first aid. Laughing, he says he has become a father today, but the baby is not his. Meanwhile, Marina approaches her baby's ward, tears in her eyes. Slowly, she steps inside. The baby plays quietly in the incubator. In a soft voice, she asks her child to forgive her, saying she had no other choice and chose this path to save his life. She tells him to live in this world. That will be her peace, and wishes him well. The scene shifts to Yana's husband speaking bitterly to the nurse, saying he has done everything for Yana, running endlessly to earn money, even leaving the capital for her. Now, fate has given him the task of raising a child who is not his. The nurse gently tells him that no child is truly a stranger and asks how he can be sure the baby is not his. He falls silent, lost in thought. The next morning, Yana's husband comes to see her. She has no idea he knows the truth. She greets him happily and steps out of her room. But when she tries to touch him, she senses something is wrong. He asks how long she will keep lying, accusing her of marrying him for money and giving birth to another man's child, a child he would have raised as his own without ever knowing the truth. Yana insists the baby is theirs and begs him to believe her. He demands she tell at least one truth in her life and storms out. Yana is left deeply shaken, wondering who could have told him these things. Just then, Marina enters the room, her face tense with worry. Yana assumes that Marina must have told her husband something and begins accusing her, saying she must be happy now that her husband has left her, as if that was her goal all along. Yana insists she will return to the capital and find a way forward. Marina calmly responds that their situations are not the same, and she has no interest in hearing such words. She has been hearing them since childhood. Yana is worried about her husband, but Marina is fighting for her son's life, a child who could die at any moment. Their struggles are not equal. That night, Dr. Ivanovich is checking on Marina's baby when a nurse rushes in, reporting that Marina has packed her things and left without telling anyone, without even taking a discharge slip. The doctor hurries outside and finds her sitting with her head bowed, crying. He approaches slowly, kneels beside her, and speaks softly. He shares that his own father died when he was very young, and his mother raised him alone. When he looks at her now, he thinks of the countless sacrifices she made for him. He recalls being a sickly child, spending much of his time in hospitals. Perhaps fate made him a doctor for that reason, but none of it would have been possible without his mother, who could have chosen an easier life, but never did. He tells Marina that her child needs her just as much. She calms down, and he leads her back inside. As they talk, Marina says she has no options left. Dr. Ivanovich tells her there is a way. Her problem is money. He offers her a job as a cleaner in the hospital, so she can earn a salary and stay close to her baby. She agrees, relieved. The doctor prepares some food for her, but his phone keeps ringing. Tonight he was supposed to have dinner with his family and his fiancée, Nina. He ignores Nina's repeated calls, then answers when his mother calls, and she passes the phone to Nina. She reminds him their dinner is getting cold, but he says he met an old friend and may not come, telling them to eat without him. Nina's disappointment is clear. Later that night, Marina falls asleep on the sofa while Dr. Ivanovich reviews her baby's reports. He notices her sleeping and gently covers her with a blanket. A nurse arrives with the baby's latest reports, and as the doctor studies them, the nurse begins to cry. She says everyone has grown attached to the baby, and that even though the doctor is trying so hard, they both know the child cannot be saved. The doctor firmly tells her never to say such things in front of the baby. The child may be small, but he understands more than people think. After sending the nurse away, he looks at the baby and says softly, "Don't mind her words. Women have tender hearts. We men don't let such things shake us. We will fight, and everything will be all right." The next morning, Nina arrives at Dr. Ivanovich's home to surprise him, a plan arranged by his mother. She quickly sets about making breakfast. When the doctor walks in, he is surprised to see her. She greets him warmly, saying she has prepared everything herself. Shy by nature, he feels awkward, but they sit down to eat together. Nina excitedly talks about their upcoming trip, saying she has always wanted to see Munich, especially with him. He agrees, but when his mother arrives and suggests they go out together today, he explains he has important work to finish first. The scene shifts to Marina's baby's room. From outside, Dr. Ivanovich explains to her what to watch for. The most dangerous risk is that the baby could have a heart attack at any time, and she must call a doctor immediately if that happens. Marina grows anxious. The doctor takes a toy from his pocket, placing it in her hand, saying he hopes the child will grow up playing with it. She feels a small spark of hope. Suddenly, she feels dizzy, and the doctor catches her. Another cleaner nearby explains that Marina has not eaten since morning, saving even her breakfast money for her child. The cleaner pleads with the doctor to do something. Dr. Ivanovich tells Marina to get ready. They're going out for lunch. She refuses, but he checks the time and says it is almost lunchtime, giving her 15 minutes to be ready. He warns he will not take no for an answer, then walks away. The next scene unfolds in the doctor's favorite restaurant, a place he visits often, where all the staff know him well. He and Marina take a seat at a table. When the waiter offers the menu, the doctor smiles and says there's no need. He knows it by heart. He orders his favorite soup for two. As they wait, Marina tells him he is doing so much for her and her child. The doctor replies that it is his responsibility. They continue talking. In the meantime, Nina has arrived at the hospital, asking for Dr. Ivanovich at reception. She is told he's gone out for lunch, so she leaves. Back at the restaurant, Marina reflects that perhaps Nikolai was simply in a bad mood that day, insisting she knows he is a good man who reacted harshly in the moment. The doctor firmly disagrees, saying Nikolai is not a good man and has no concern for her or the baby, warning her not to waste her time. Tears fill Marina's eyes as she admits she has nowhere else to go. The doctor stands to comfort her, and at that very moment, Nina arrives and sees them from a distance. Her eyes well with tears, a mix of hurt and anger, unsure what to think. And so, the first chapter of this story draws to a close. The image of Nina, her eyes wide with shock and betrayal, as she witnessed Dr. Ivanovich and Marina together, lingers in the air like a haunting shadow. But what comes next? Will Nina unleash her fury or bury her pain in silence? Will Nikolai embrace his child or abandon his blood forever? And most of all, can Marina's fragile baby endure this merciless fight for survival? The answers are waiting in part 2 of the story, and it's coming very soon. Until then, support our channel, like, share, and subscribe, because with your love, the next chapter arrives even faster.